Hey, I'm Kim. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Scenes with WeGotEm Teas. Today we have really something special. So you get to see Allison on the other side of the camera. Allison is the person who produces our podcast. And so we're going to do a little Q&A today to get to know Allison a little bit. So first thing, Allison, is I want to know, tell us a little bit about your business and what exactly that you do.
Yeah, so my business is called Allison Productions. It's my last name. And I started that when I think I was right after college. Mm-hmm. So it was just more so for photography. I'm a photographer. That was like my base. Uh-huh. And then I slowly transitioned into videography. It was mostly for like my dad. I was just doing stuff for him because he was a photographer too. Right. So he needed video. So I was like, I'll just do video stuff. And then slowly turned into a business. I mean, we're here. Yeah. Here you are. So I do like, I think of it as like freelance stuff. Uh-huh. Like I'm just working with business owners like yourself and just producing videos, photos, ads, stuff like that. So did you have an idea that this is what you wanted to do, like absolutely
when you were in college? No.
Absolutely not. But I feel like a lot of it, like, we never know what we're going to be doing, right. You know? No. So this one I kind of just fell into my lap because I'm like, when I worked down the hill, that's where I was originally working, I was like, I did not like the 9 to 5. Uh-huh. I mean, I did like photography and stuff as like a side hustle, you know, just to make a little bit more money. Right. But then I'm like, maybe I can turn this into an actual business. Right. So then I did when you and George were on this podcast, what you guys did. I'm just sure. We'll just try and see what happens. Right. So I moved up here a couple years ago, and then that's when I met you, and then we started building something, and then now we're here. And business is great. Business is busy. Good.
What do you think surprised you most about like the podcast arena that we've kind of delved into? Neither one of us really knew that much.
Yes, so yeah. When you reached out to me saying we're going to do a podcast, I'm like, oh crap, I need to figure out how to produce this podcast because I've never dealt with doing
You're like
podcasts.
Me. You're like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I feel like that's the greatest part is you learn as you go, and then you know, for sure, you just go with it. Mm-hmm. So what surprised me with this was. Well, I listen to not a lot of podcasts, but I listen to a couple, you know? Right. And I was like, maybe if they could do it, we could do it kind of thing. And then what I do, Haley, who's behind the camera.
Haley's behind the camera today. We'll meet her later.
Yes. She's our editor, and she basically just puts everything together to make it look pretty, and then I just get clips of it for the podcast, and then those little clips do really well on social media. Surprisingly, like I didn't know that we could actually like build something on this. So a lot of the
little clips from the longer podcast, exactly, yeah, there's the big deal.
Yeah, and that got a lot of traffic, especially for like the Dick's varsity team. That one did great. So a lot of it, you kind of just learn as you go. And you can't really understand social media algorithms. It's very difficult to understand because it changes.
Some of them are like, they take off, and then some of them are like kind of duds, and you never know what's what.
It's always changing, and I'm like, it's great. Just keep posting. Just keep doing
going.
It.
Just keep trying.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of creating your business in a similar way that we did. It's like, I think, and honestly, the way most people do when they decide that they're going to go into business for themselves is you have an idea, and you know you're not going to know everything. Exactly. And you just learn along the way, and you're committed to growth, and you're committed to learning your craft, whatever you decide that's going to be.
Yeah, you definitely learn your craft along the way because you realize like what your capabilities are essentially. Like, didn't know we could produce a podcast? Here we are. Here we are. 6 months later.
Tell everybody how we found each other.
So my fiance, his mom was one of the early employers that you had here. Yes. I don't know what year that was.
Debbie is your mother-in-law, yes. And Debbie started working for us, I believe, pretty quickly after we opened, 2015, 2016. Yeah. She was one of the OGs. Yes. And really started she helped us kind of create the system that we still use today on creating our Letterman jackets.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I gotta get her back here. I keep telling her, I'm like, come on.
That's an interview.
Yes.
Right there.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
We gotta do Debbie.
Yes. Yeah. But it was just like, Austin came up to me. No, you're
and
Jordy.
Jordy and Austin were friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
My son, your fiance.
Yes. And then all of a sudden I came here and I'm like, hi, I'm taking pictures for social media and stuff. And I was a little nervous because I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
To be honest with you. I'm like, I didn't have a game plan. It was just like, you know what? We're just going to figure it out as we go.
And I think like for George and I, we really appreciate that because, you know, we were in the same boat. Like, and we love like giving new businesses a chance because we were that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So especially for young people, I love, you know, watching young people diving into the entrepreneur, you know, space and giving it a go. And so if we can be like a teeny bit of part of that, like I love that because I also love what we do, making the Letterman jackets and stuff like that. But I'm very passionate about entrepreneurship. Yes. Like I'm super, super passionate about that. And anything we can do to watch other small businesses grow, I love it. Like that really does fuel me.
Yes, and I appreciate you giving me a chance to show my work.
You've done great.
Because I've gotten clients. I recently got a client from that, a fellow business owner. So I'm starting with her in a couple weeks. So I'm excited for that. And I got one down the hill. And I feel like now that I kind of have like a little bit of experience with it, then I can be like, okay, this is what I can provide for you.
Well, and that's just it. It's like as a young entrepreneurship or entrepreneur or even older, we started when we were older. It's like you need somebody to just give you that chance.
Yes.
Because then you can build your, you know, your relevancy based on that. And then it helps to get more business for sure.
Yeah.
What did you think about George and I when you first met us?
Great question. George was a little intimidating.
Oh God, everybody said that.
Yes, because he was talking about, I think I came in here and he was talking to Sarah about college. So I was like, oh, he's like serious. That was my initial thought. I'm like,
he was super serious.
He was super serious, and he was giving a lot of like advice, and then he started giving advice about financial stuff and like retirement, and I'm like, I don't know how. I don't even have like a retirement, like a
we didn't have that
like
either when we were young.
So I'm like, I don't know. But now that, because my fiance is he has a lot of experience in that, so he was explaining to me like, why we're doing this, and this, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. Once you're older, you're like, okay. I hear a lot of people, especially I remember in high school, I took an economic class. I feel like we all did economics class. For sure. And they said like, make sure you start your retirement early. Yes. It's like
one of the things I wish we would have done when we were young. And I think I know for George, he's pretty passionate about that with all of our young employees or people that he comes in contact with because you know, if there was one thing that we could have done differently, it would have been to start saving for our retirement at a younger age. It's so vital to your long-term success. And it's easy to do when you're young, you know?
So I think when I had a meeting with you at your house, George was talking about it. We spent like 20 minutes.
He's like, do you want to work for us? But also, let's talk about your retirement.
Exactly. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. But I appreciate it because no one, like, if I didn't have my fiance, I wouldn't understand it. Because my dad didn't really, either. So I appreciate having someone who has, like, giving us that wisdom, be like, okay, you got to start your retirement now. Start investing or start, like, putting money into it.
And again, I think that comes from, like, you know, George and I both are first generation, like, immigrant kids. And so that isn't something that is taught to us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because your parents aren't even very well aware of how the system works. And I know you kind of came from that same place. So getting a little bit of knowledge, like I wish we would have had that knowledge earlier in life.
I agree,
you know?
because my dad didn't really, my parents both came in here. Oh, I was born and raised here, so was my brother, but my dad came here when he was in his 30s. So he really didn't understand
He's just like working hard to make it work.
Exactly.
That was all he knew. Right. But then you realize he's actually not that serious. George. He's
yes. No, I love George. I love the jokes. I love it. I love the episode. I really liked the episode that he was on.
Oh, yeah.
And when he was giving his
He got to show kind of his fun personality.
Exactly.
He's not as intimidating and,
Yeah,
mean
once you
as
get to
he
know
looks.
him, yes. Once you get to know him, you're like, oh yeah.
Sarah
good.
says the same thing. She's like, the George I knew at Victorville Motors was not the George I know now.
Yeah, I forgot about that they work together. Yeah. Oh,
he has a serious side, but he also has a fun-loving side.
Yes, no,
sure.
I love it. But
and me, what'd you think of me?
Oh, I loved you. I love female business owners because I don't know. It's a different
it's a different vibe.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, but we're women supporting women. I love it. I love it.
I know. I do. I love that, and I do think that, like I said, I'm so passionate about young people with being entrepreneurs, but especially women.
Yeah.
Because I think we second guess ourselves and we question ourselves.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
And I know for me, I suffered a lot with major imposter syndrome.
Oh my gosh, I tell that to Austin all the time. I feel like I had a client that I gave a proposal to just to see if he wants to hire me, and it was a little intimidating because it was not we weren't arguing about it. We're kind of negotiating the proposal, kind of. Yeah. And I was telling Austin, I'm I was so nervous because I
feel
felt
you're not good enough.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm I don't know if I'm doing this right. I love Austin. He helps me with all my proposals. Does this look okay?
Right.
Am I pricing this correctly?
Right.
Does this make sense?
Right.
And he said, no, you know your value, you know your worth. Yep. So you just
and it's okay for people to say no to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You do a proposal and if somebody says no to you, that just means that you're not the right fit. It doesn't necessarily mean that your pricing was wrong or whatever. So, but I think as women, we tend to take that stuff a little bit too much to heart.
Yes, I agree.
And then that kind of stops us from moving forward, building that bridge, over yes, that is what I'm worth. It is what I'm worth.
Exactly.
It is what I'm worth. And then you just keep plugging forward.
It kind of discouraged me a little bit because I'm I don't know if I'm right for this job, but just have, kind of just fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And then you'll get to the point too, at some point, I know for me, where it's yeah, you know what? You're not the right fit for me.
Yeah. It wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't meant to be. And, maybe you don't want to work with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes time.
Exactly.
But I do feel for women, it's a little bit harder.
Yes. Yeah,
and probably because of just our own nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we need a little bit of... we need other women kind of boosting us along the way.
Yeah, a little confidence goes a long way.
So what has been your favorite part of producing this podcast?
I think it's the learning the stories from the people that are on it. So Amanda, about her work in the police, she still works there, but her stories, that one was a little tearjerker. That never
moving.
Cried. Yeah. Never really teared up on a podcast episode like that one. Who else was on here that I forgot? Like I said, George giving his experience and wisdom, and that was kind of motivating.
And his story.
Yes, yeah. But just learning more about the people on the episode, I really enjoy. Just because
there's always a story behind everybody. Everybody who works here, there is a little bit of a story. Even Debbie, I would love to get her story on here.
I would love
because her story is pretty spectacular.
Yes. I'm gonna have to fight her to get here, but we're
gonna bribe her.
Yes, we're gonna bribe her. You're gonna have to come up.
We're gonna bribe her. So, but yeah, you're right. Everybody who's worked here, past, present, their stories are significant.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And there's the people behind making all of this.
Yeah, and it's
it's fun.
Everyone has a story.
Everybody has a story.
Yeah. Like your motto. This is your story.
This is your story.
It all ties in together. Look at that.
That's true. Have you seen any growth, or what growth in your business have you seen since we've been working together?
I feel not physically seem more personal. I feel like I've gained a little bit more confidence with my work, essentially. Having I was always nervous or showing my work. I'm oh, is this good enough kind of thing? But now that I've gained a little bit more experience, doing this, I don't know how long we've been doing this. We've been doing the podcast for about 6 months. Yeah. But for working for you, been
couple years.
Couple years, yeah. And I feel in the beginning I was oh, I'm scared to do I don't know what I'm doing essentially. But now that
neither did we, so it was fine.
Yeah. So it worked out. out, really. But now that it's been a couple years, I feel like for me, I've learned how to like. I would feel like I had way more confidence than I would like. Little 2 years ago, me would be like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough for you to be doing this. You know, I don't know.
And then imagine the growth 2 years from now.
Exactly.
Like, it's only going to get more and better.
Which I'm excited for.
People ask me all the time, and I'm always like, Allison, Allison, Allison.
And I just figure it out as I go.
You need an editor? Haley.
Yeah,
Haley,
exactly.
Haley.
I love that. I love it. See, that's the thing, too, with working with other business owners. You're like, just word of mouth. Like,
and it is a small community. I mean, other business owners do reach out to other small business owners because I think there is a fundamental need to support one another.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so it's a great relationship for sure.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about like behind the scenes, what happens in this producing.
Okay.
So, I mean, first of all, you kind of have to wait for me because, I'm probably the biggest pain in the rear.
No. So, you're the host.
Tell us how, like, what happens from start to actually getting one of these on YouTube and posting the shorts and stuff like that. So just talk us through how that happens.
So usually just starts, show up. We set up this lovely studio that we have going on, and then we record the podcast, and then that gets sent. I upload all that, send it to our lovely editor, Haley.
Haley Gillette.
Haley, and then she gives me that podcast, like the files, and then what I do is I watch the whole episode. So all the episodes we watch, just to double check everything looks good, and then I look at finding clips to like, okay, this is like what I want the audience to see, or like this is like one of the main messages for like the purpose of the episode, and then we upload it, and then we we should put it up on TikTok, Instagram, all the socials, link down below. And then we put it on YouTube.
What's like the time frame from start to finish that it normally takes?
Typically, like, so if I were to upload it, like, I'll go home right now, upload this, and usually it depends on how long the episode is. Sometimes it can range between 15 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour.
Right. Yeah.
It depends.
We've had some short ones. We have some long ones. It kind of just depends.
Exactly. Right. And we shoot on 2 different cameras. And that takes probably maybe 30 to an hour, maybe 2 hours to upload. And then editing it, I've edited a couple episodes, and that takes a few hours too, because you have to sync all the audio and the visual, make sure everything looks good.
It's a whole nother process.
Yes. Right. Yeah, it really just depends on the episode. Right. Sometimes it can take 2 hours to half a day to a whole day, depending. And then going through it too, like I said, depends on the episode. If it's an hour long, then you watch it for an hour, then you edit it. And thing with like all social media, this podcast goes up as a long form, which is horizontally for YouTube. Doesn't really like shorts, or doesn't really like vertical format unless you upload on to a shorts.
Gotcha.
On. It's like their TikTok version on YouTube essentially. So that is like a whole nother thing. Editing vertical format, so like as in like your iPhone, essentially. So you have to edit it in that format in order for them to watch it, because the algorithm doesn't like it as horizontal.
Gotcha.
When you're uploading it.
Gotcha.
Mostly
I'm so
never
glad
does.
I don't have to know any of this.
Yeah, you kind of learn. You kind of learn as you go.
Sure.
For me, I upload. I've uploaded clips horizontally, and they just don't do well.
It's like you're talking a foreign language to me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just not. Yes.
I'm like, that sounds complicated.
Yeah.
Glad I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you kind of just learn as you go.
Right.
You kind of the algorithm's very difficult to understand. You kind of just go as it. It's
that worked, that didn't work,
yes.
and then you make notes.
But sometimes,
and it's always changing too.
Exactly. But sometimes what didn't work worked. So I'm like, what the heck happened? Nothing changed. Like the schedule didn't change. The upload time didn't. Like I don't understand it sometimes. So you just kind of go with the flow.
That's why you have to I feel like the biggest thing is just being consistent.
Exactly.
You know, just being consistent. And then I know, we kind of all fell into each other's laps a little bit, me, you, and Haley. And so how do you feel like that's been a benefit to having an extra hand as far as Haley doing the editing?
Yes.
Like, how do you think that's working?
It's nice because she catches things that I don't. Like, even
it's
with
like
audio
that second set of eyeballs.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just me, because there's some things like something maybe I misspell or the audio cut out in this one. It's nice having a second pair of eyes to look at a project, not just myself. And she is more she has more experience with the audio
right part of
that
it.
I do not.
Yeah.
Hi, Haley.
I also feel like, you know, again, as part of like entrepreneurship, I think sometimes we get caught in, I have to do everything myself so I can make all the money.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, having Haley do the editing allows you to do more somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah.
To expand your business or make more money. And so I do feel like, you know, not trying to do everything yourself as far as from a business owner standpoint. I think
learned that
that's a real, it's really important to let other people do what they do so you can do what you do.
Focus on other things. Right. Yes. Yeah, like pushing the business essentially. Because I realized that when I was probably a year or two in, I'm like, or even recently, I'm like, okay, I can't do everything. There's not enough time in the day to do everything, you know?
Well, and that's why I hired you even as starting to do the social media because I was like, I can't run my business and do my social media. Like, there's just not enough time.
Exactly.
And what I've learned as a business owner is I need to do things that move the needle in my business.
Exactly.
Like, doing things that somebody else is better at, just because I think I need to do everything, it doesn't help the growth of my business.
Exactly.
You know, I need to really be focused on things that move the needle in my business. Yeah. And then let other people do what they're really good at.
Yes.
And that's hard for a lot of business owners to relinquish that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I learned that because I'm like, I don't, like I said, I don't have enough time in the day to be, and like a podcast episode could take all day. And I'm like, I didn't touch anything else that I wanted to work today.
Exactly. Or get more business or anything like that. So having people in your corner that can do what they're good at so you can do what you're good at is such a major part of business growth.
Exactly.
So I do think that that was a smart choice.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
I know we didn't actually consciously think of it like that, but I do think it ended up being the right fit.
Yes, I 100% agree.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the biggest mistake that we made in the beginning? Like, what do you think, and not just even me, but like podcasters in general, what do you think the biggest mistake people make?
I think we did kind of went in with it like
you did a lot of research.
Yeah, I did a lot. Like, how do other businesses? Because you have to look at your competition. You have to be like, okay, what's working for them? And I think we really didn't have a game plan in the beginning. We kind of just said like, here you go.
Sometimes we still don't.
Yeah, we really don't. Yeah. But then
you know what our game plan is we're gonna do one every week.
Yes.
Like that's really been we don't like. Because I think we knew in the beginning, we didn't know how it was going to shape.
Yes.
Like what this was going to turn into. So I kind of love the fact that we still are in the space where we're like kind of going with the flow. Because even though I am a very more like type A personality and I do like things like orderly. Yeah. But I also have learned that in order to be creative, you have to keep your mind open. And so 100%. Not having like a rigid format that we're like, this is who we are, this is what we do. We're sort of letting it evolve a little bit and to decide, okay, what do we want this to look like? And I feel like keeping ourselves open to creativity is important.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
You know, so I do love that. I know I still feel like we might not have really figured out what we want this to look like and feel like. Yeah. But I feel like we're getting closer.
We're getting there.
We're getting closer to that.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
What do you feel like makes a client easy or hard to work with?
Oh, I guess I keep saying this. It depends. Like, I love constructive criticism because the only way I can improve is getting constructive criticism back. Like, I like this, but let's improve on this. Right. So I also like the very nonchalant, like, okay, yeah, that works kind of thing. Yeah. But also I do lean more towards the constructive criticism because I learn more from a different person's perspective. Right. So I can improve on that. Right. So it kind of like, it's a little bit of both. Essentially. There's no good or like no good or bad client to work with, essentially. You kind of learn, no client is ever the same.
No. And that's part of business ownership too, right?
Exactly.
Is just learning different people and how to interact with different people, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about equipment. So is the equipment that we're using, was that expensive to get going on?
Well,
or did you have some of it?
I did have it. So I actually invested in a second camera. I knew, because I was a photographer, so I just used the camera that I had.
Right.
And it was like my dream, like in college. It was my dream camera. But then with like the mics and stuff, I didn't really know much about mics, essentially. I didn't know what it entails. So it was a lot of research.
And even our audio, I still feel like we need to kind of get it a little bit better.
Yes, there are.
We're still trying to figure that out.
Yes, I've seen a lot of like. Yeah. I'm basing it off of podcasts that I've seen.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And I looked into it. I'm like, okay, they have a whole setup. Yeah. And we're like, we're getting there. Yeah, we're going to get there. For sure. But all the equipment I had, like these mics we invested in when we decided to do the podcast. Yeah. But the cameras and everything else was more so like my experience with photography and videography. We just used it. And then if it works, it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll just we're going to upgrade just as we go. And if we need to get a different sound system or whatever, then we want to improve as we go.
Exactly.
For sure.
And we're getting there. We're 24th or 25th episode right now, so we're doing good so far. So,
and I think that was the thing too. At the beginning of the year when we decided to do this, we were committed to doing this for a year.
Yes.
For the whole year. Yeah. Like even if I was getting frustrated or tired, we were gonna do one episode every year or every week. Yeah. And then at the end of the year, we were going to have a relook. Like, was it worth it? Do we keep doing it and stuff like that? And I think that was important for me because I don't think you can make a real judgment on, hey, is this working? Is it not working on a month or 3 months, even 6 months? I still feel like we're building momentum towards it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think, what businesses do you feel like would benefit from having a podcast?
Anyone, honestly. Any business owner that can talk about, like business owners can talk about talk about what they do, like because I always like putting a face behind the name or like the business because it builds credibility essentially, and especially with AI now, I feel like a lot of people they're questioning
what they're seeing.
Exactly, yeah. Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is AI. I don't think it's real. So having some, like even they have AI of people talking.
It's crazy. You don't know what's real anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So having something like this is beneficial because it's behind the scenes. Yeah. You can actually see who you're talking to and not like it not being a robot or not being AI. So I think especially with the improvement of AI too, because I've seen clips of movies that are strictly AI. These people aren't real. These actors aren't real actors. Right. So I'm like, how do you know what's real and what's not?
And especially, for us, I feel like my driving force for doing the podcast was really we were stepping into selling virtually. And so we needed something. I wanted something that connected us to the audience, or not to the audience, but to customers that were not in our local community. And so they would get a chance to know who we are.
Exactly.
For us in particular, we're asking people to hand over money.
Exactly.
And we're also asking them to wait 8 weeks for their product to be delivered.
Exactly.
That's a big ask.
Yeah.
Hey, give us your money this much and we'll deliver your product in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really about, I wanted to create credibility, a relationship, a face that they could be like, that's a reliable company.
Exactly.
They're going to follow through with what they said. I trust them. So for us, that was what it was.
Yeah. And if people are investing a lot of money into something, obviously you're going to read the reviews. You're going to look them up, see if they're credible, know. So it really
does. And a face to the name.
Exactly.
That's what people want.
Exactly. Yeah. Just to make sure that you're a real person. You're a real business.
For sure.
How do you trust a business if you don't know who, who they are?
Well, and that kind of goes into my very next question is just like, how can a podcast help with your business? And I think that's just it. It's creating a real person behind a business.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was shocked to learn was that, the second largest search engine
Oh, yeah.
is YouTube.
Yeah.
So when people are looking for products, you know, obviously Google is first.
Is the main one, yeah.
And then your next largest search engine is YouTube. So you really need to be a searchable entity on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, and the only way to do that is by doing a podcast and doing shorts and stuff like that. Like, you have to put your business name and your, you know, I mean, I've learned a lot about, I was like, I had no idea about that, you know, and like that stuff's coming for us. Like, you have to be relevant on YouTube.
Yeah. And even on YouTube too, they have a thing that you have to check mark if it's AI or not.
Oh,
so like if it's real, because I don't think they like, I think there's some YouTube videos that are strictly AI that they upload, and you have to label it as AI. Even on social media, it has a thing that says like, "Is this AI?" And you have to,
which I think is good. I mean, people need to know what they're looking at.
Exactly, it's false information if it is AI.
Right. Yeah, and we all use AI. I mean, everybody uses AI, but as you know, the viewer needs to know what they're seeing.
Exactly,
especially as it becomes more and more advanced.
Exactly.
For sure. What other services do you provide besides just like podcasting? What other things do you do?
It's been changing. The more I've been working, the more I'm like, okay,
Well, what are you doing right now for some of your other customers?
So I'm doing the same thing. So I do social media for Shed World. So I do marketing for them.
Shout out Shed World.
Yeah, Shed World. So I do social media for them, and then I do photo and video. So I do like.
So you do social media for Shed World and for us. And
yes,
for
and then
other,
I've gotten a couple clients recently that I'm doing like basically the same package essentially, just photo and video. I do.
I keep telling Shed World, or we keep telling Shed World they need a podcast, but they haven't jumped on the train.
I know.
Yet.
I'm gonna have to convince it. If I'm on it, they're gonna have to be on it too. I'm like, hey, I did an episode, you're gonna have to do it too. So
they need their own. They need their own podcast.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah,
I would love to learn.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
super fun.
Yeah. But I do a lot of like photo and video, but then that turns into social media. So I do like social media packages, but I also do like photo shoots. Like if someone needs grad photos, or like they'll be like, hey, can you?
Well, and that's kind of worked with us too. Obviously, we deal with a lot of students, so they find you also to do a lot of graduation.
Yeah, senior photos. Yeah, so I do all of that. I do family photos, the whole nine. I call it like under. Like now that I've done like commercial work, then I'm like, okay, now maybe make another section on my website that says, okay, if you need like photos for your products or stuff like that, let me know.
Products, that's nice
the one
too.
I got down the hill, that one.
Because you do a lot of that for us.
Yes, I got one down the hill, and I just picked up their product, and I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how I'm gonna take these photos.
How to make these nice.
Yes,
looking,
right. Yeah, so I do.
So that's a whole other skill set.
Yes, Photoshop. That one takes a lot, because that was my original first job out of college. So when I graduated class 2020, yikes, I needed to find a job, so I got a job. I worked for a lighting company that sold light fixtures on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I edited all the listing photos, and that was like my main thing. And I didn't realize how much work it took before I started getting.
And kind of boring.
It is. Yeah, I'll just put a movie on or a podcast on, and then I just edit away, you know. But that was like my first job, and then I, like I said earlier, I'm like, I can't be doing this because I need to do my own thing. Yeah. So I started doing like side gigs for like photography stuff, and then after that, kind of went down the rabbit hole. And then,
do you feel like this is turning into a business that can definitely be sustainable long term in your life?
100%. Yeah. I feel like now that I've kind of figured it out, then I'm like, okay, it can, like, you can shoot for the stars. Just keep going. And I keep saying yes, and I'm like, oh my God, I am so busy. But it's great.
How many hours a week do you think that you're working doing all of these things for these different companies?
Good question. So like sometimes, like I have to schedule like, okay, what am I going to work on today? And I have to allocate a certain amount of hours for this, and this, just depending on like timeline and like when my deadlines are. I work like probably for like a day. I don't do like normal 9 to 5. I start at 8 kind of thing, and then I go. Sometimes I work till like not like midnight essentially, but like I have time in between, you know.
Right, of course.
So that's the benefit of.
But I'm sure you're definitely working 40 hours a week.
Like minimum, I would say. Yeah. Well, definitely more than I was working my 9 to 5 down the hill. I feel like when you're a business owner, you're always
benefit is just so much more.
Exactly. Yeah. You work more, but just like for yourself too. Like I'm working just.
There's so much meaning in it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like I you work way harder than your 9 to 5 essentially, but it's way more rewarding.
I agree.
I enjoy it way more than I was.
Do you think you'll ever hire somebody to help you?
I feel like at this point
I'm kind of there.
I might be just for like an editor, because editing takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I do, like, I'm also like OCD when it comes to editing, so I'm like, I don't know if I want someone to edit, but if it like it
but
depends.
Like I said, you got to let some of that go.
100%. Yeah, because it takes a lot of time. Like I realize that if I spend too much time editing, I don't have, like you said, you
can't go get business.
Exactly. So now that I've gotten to that point, I'm like, oh my God. Like just edit, like Photoshop, just editing something on Photoshop.
Right. It takes time.
It takes a lot of time. So I feel like down the road, I eventually will. I mean, technically I hired my fiance to be like...
and he has his own job.
Exactly. Like he has a full-time job, and I'm like,
he's your unpaid employee.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, I need an assistant for a photo shoot. I need someone to hold like the reflectors. I can't do it.
Right.
So I'm like, you're gonna have to show up with me. I'll pay you food. Like I'll pay for lunch. Yeah, I'll buy you lunch. But I'm like, okay, I need you to show up because I can't do this by myself.
Oh, that's
funny. So he's my first employee. I mean, unpaid employee.
Hey, we all start there. George was mine.
Yeah,
so
exactly. We
totally
put these guys to work.
Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna do some fun little lightning round questions.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Mac or PC?
PC.
Morning or night recordings?
Morning.
Favorite podcast?
Oh, this one, Behind the Scenes, WeGotEm. Of course.
Favorite business book?
Oh, God. I don't know the name of it. It's a purple book. I know that.
It's a purple book.
I'll show it right here. I'll put it in right here. So, link right here.
Link. One word that describes working with me.
Exciting.
One piece of advice for aspiring podcasters.
Do it. Just do
that
it.
Sounds
like
so
just
great.
Try
Just
it.
do it.
I mean, we're stealing Nike.
We're not trying to be Nike.
Yeah, we're not trying to be Nike. But like just
do it. Try it.
Yeah, try it. If it doesn't work, like
it's okay.
like us, do it for a few months, see if it works. And I mean, we have a good system going, so you just got to keep trying it. And then you just have to get that one clip. So we've gotten quite a bit of clips that have done really well.
Yep.
And we're like, out of all the clips that we've uploaded,
that was the one.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm like, I guess. So we just have to screw it, do it.
Just keep trying.
Just keep trying. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Allison. This has been so much fun.
Yes.
And now we'll get you behind the camera.
I'm excited to get
again.
back behind the camera.
And all the links that you'll need to follow, subscribe, and like us will be below. And we can't wait to see you on the next episode of Behind the Scenes with WeGotEm Tees. Thanks, Allison.
Bye-bye. Thank you.